These days a lot of fishing is about convenience. The fishing gear we've got is fantastic, and one of the great things we have now are the ready rod setups. We've got our rods with our reels on and lines through and tips in and everything set up. But what it does, it actually makes us a little bit lazy. And as anglers, we tend to just set the rod up and go, you know what, that tip will be all right, or that tip will be all right. One of the critical things when you're fishing at distances is balancing the tips out correctly. And it's finding that fine balance between getting a tip that will bend with a bite or a tip that is the most effective for distance casting. Now, the most effective tips for distance casting are normally the stiffest tips. If you're going 60, 70, 80, 90 meters in big winds, using shock leaders and light lines, you want a tip that has got minimum recoil. So when you're bashing that rod out, that tip is going out, it's coming back, it's actually getting a compression in the rod, and it's going forward, and then it comes back like that. So when you're casting to there, you want the least amount of recoil in your rod, because that is doing two things. It's slowing your line down, and it's potentially giving you the opportunity of a wraparound because it's going like that with the line on top. That is critical. So whenever I'm using a method feeder for carp, casting distances, I'm not bothered about the rod tip. I've set a trap, I'm fishing with a tight line normally, and I'm looking for that one bite, that off the rest that you always get, or even a drop back. They're the two bites. There's no indications, there's no that might be a bite, it's on. So the critical thing is have the right tip for the cast. Now, when you're fishing long distances for bream and skimmers, it's a little bit different. Bream, often you get a good bite, but when skimmers are concerned, you know, 12 ounce, pound and a half fish, sometimes you need to see that indication because they're sat with it in the mouth. That's when I will drop down to a more sensible tip, and I'll probably then put the lightest tip that I can get away with to cast the distance I need to cast. But if you can't cast there, you're not going to catch the fish. So the critical thing is still getting the tip right. So don't be lazy. Think about what tip you need in your rod. Even if it's set up in your rod bag, it takes 2 minutes to take the end tackle off, put the correct tip in for the day, whether there's big toe or wind or whatever. Get your tackle balance, get it right, get the distance, see the bite, and that'll make your fishing much better.